When it comes to Ojai, it's one of those films which asks its audience, how far could the lead actress go, and you stay on her side. So to summarize the film, Iris has been dating Isaac for about 4 months now, and she's under the impression they're deeply in love. Isaac makes plans for a romantic getaway with between them. He's really sweet, and everything he does further solidifies the feelings that Iris has. But then, in one moment, Isaac pops a bubble, and we watch as Iris tries to have the ideal conversation with Isaac to get them back to where she believed they were. So, get into the review section. When it comes to Ojai, that initial investment between Iris and Isaac is what's going to hook you. Isaac is made to be very attractive, but he also is kind of dorky in some ways. He has some acceptable level of weirdness or flaws, as does Iris. And this makes it so when Isaac says that thing, which kind of pops that bubble, it's not just devastating for Iris, but it's also devastating for you. And with that, it makes it so that you can kind of justify, or you don't want to condone what Iris did because it's unethical, possibly illegal, might actually be a crime, but you can understand why she gets to this level of crazy. You've gotten everything you could want after having relationships that you've had that didn't work out, and this guy kind of fits that fantasy of meeting someone who is perfect for you when you're young and growing old with them. So for him to say what he does and pop that bubble, and Iris being who she is, where she's kind of weird, she doesn't have to have this, representative vow anymore. She could just be herself. And then he does this thing after everything they've been through, and the things that he's said and the things that he's done. You can understand that madness, that like snap that leads her to do what she does. And again, you never condone it, but you definitely understand it. Which leads to one last highlight, which is actually tied to the on the fence portion of this film, and that's a character named Kenny. Kenny is introduced after Iris's friend Max is also introduced, and Kenny is Max's boyfriend. And Kenny's part of this. He brings a certain level of comedy that wasn't necessarily expected, especially with the way the film was going, but he does give it a nice little adrenaline shot so that it could eventually reach this 90-minute time frame it seems to be aiming for. But that's where the on the fence portion comes in. In many ways, it seems like the inclusion of Max, the inclusion of Kenny is about getting this film to hit 94 minutes. Do they need to be part of the film? Absolutely not. But it seems that to make matters worse, rather than use Kenny and Max to kind of help Iris not see through rose-colored glasses, to see that there were serious issues and flaws with the relationship with Isaac, they just add on to the hijinks of what Iris was doing. And in many ways, it seems like they were misused, and at worst, considering that they have a scene with Max and Iris naked as they do this ritual to try to help alleviate the worrisomeness of the situation. A lot of it, some may say, is a little bit desperate just to not only get to the point where it can be considered a full-length film, but also to find kind of cheap ways in order to keep the audience entertained, even though the premise itself has kind of run its course. Overall, when it comes to Ojai, the best thing about it is it does definitely get you invested in Iris and Isaac's relationship, but unfortunately, there comes a point, maybe halfway or three-quarters for the movie, where it realizes that it has nowhere else to go, and that's when Kenny and Max come in, and rather than try to find different means and ways for them to kind of expand, unfortunately, Kenny and Max just create a lot of hijinks, more comedic moments, a little bit of drama, and don't add the value they potentially could have. Hence, us overall having a bit of a mixed opinion, if not divisive opinion about this movie, mainly because the one way where it could have extended itself to hit that 90-minute mark to be a full length for a feature film, it avoided the best possible option, instead went to one that just took away from the main strength of the film.